Kenya, why do you have on this fake engagement ring to try to make people think you found a man? Like, even if you did find one, keep that shit to yourself. I ain't gonna believe you. I ain't gonna believe you. You put on this Claire's crap to get people like me talking. That's what you did. Okay, they tried to rig the game, but they can't fake influence. Kenya, I need you to realize you are not a producer of this show. This is not your show. This is not your network. You are an employee and you're honestly too invested. You are not because all you have is a housewife, you should have been focusing on finding another career. This is it. And this seems to be over. It seems to be over. If you have to do your own damn confessional, you're trying too hard. Why aren't you putting together your own reality show? You and Nene ain't got nothing else to do. Put together your own show. Get some other heifers, but not Malaysia Pargo. Not Malaysia Pargo, not Tamika Foster. Don't involve Sissy King. And also rig the game. You're the idiot that put pornography on a Kinko's poster in a public place at 54. That's sexual harassment. You don't have influence because you don't have a show, you Stimpleton. This ain't your show. You got a couple of people typing for free. Let me tell you something. Those tweets you're putting out, it's free. Free. Unless they supporting you with their dollars, it don't matter. Anybody can type. And guess what? They'll also be typing in supportive for it. They will talk out of both sides of their keyboard. You are letting the fans gas your head. Don't listen to them people, because them be the same people that ain't even watching the damn show. They ain't even watching, but got a lot to say on the internet. How many people talk about, Solange's album is amazing, 250,000 streams. Half them people was bumping their gums. Stop letting these fans fool you. They don't care. Because if you were that girl, you would have had a spinoff. Girl, Kenya Moore haircut, Kenya Moore YouTube, you don't have the personality of a YouTuber. There's a filter here. It doesn't feel real. We don't need Kenya Moore YouTube. I see why you have it. You're very limited. You're very limited. See, you ain't taking back the narrative because it's not your show. You never had a narrative to begin with. When you're a producer, when you have a share of ownership, a share of the profits, then you have a narrative. What you have was what the producers told you to do. That's what you had. Everyone speaking on me and everyone making money off me. Girl, Bravo been pimping your ass. You are the fool out here without any ownership, without any producer credit, without your own show. You are the fool. So stop it. Stop that right now. People making money off me. Maybe if you learned how to make money off you better, you wouldn't be in this situation. Kenya says she found the images on porn sites and she didn't get them from another housewife, like Portia said. I honestly don't care where you got the shit from, and for you to get on here and say, well, it's technically not revenge porn. Do you know what you sound like? You sound like a man that's trying to get out of the sexual assault he's committed. I've only heard white men sound like that in court. It's very interesting hearing it come out of a black woman's mouth, but you're trying to skirt. But what you've done is disgusting. And the fact that you're trying to say, well, it's legal, so it's fine. It is sad that this is what you want to double down on at 54. This is who you are at 54. Yeah, I see Bravo not having you back. I guess you said, shit, I'm going to go on and be Nene. Let me lean in. This is embarrassing. It's 2 minutes and 13 seconds in, and it's embarrassing. You really are a great example of just ugly on the inside. Then she goes in, I don't watch porn. Like, who cares what you watch? Nobody gives a shit about what turns Kenya Moore on. Don't know, man. Maybe you need to watch some porn to get some tips because you sure can't keep nobody. And I'm sorry, but if somebody wanted to rub your nub, you might not be in this situation. If you was getting a good gasm on the regular, you might not be so damn aggravated. That mommy wound might have closed up and healed. So maybe you really do need some love in your life. Maybe you need a woman. Maybe it ain't men. Maybe you need a woman, but you need something. You need somebody rubbing your nub Because you can tell by the way you sitting cross-legged in this chair. You're frustrated. You're frustrated with life. I feel sorry for Brooklyn having to deal with her, no gasm more. That's your problem. You need to be watching porn. You need to be masturbating often. You need the endorphins. You need to calm down. That's why you're so uptight and worrying about everybody else's sex life. Get your own sex life. Don't worry about what nobody else got in their mouth. Worry about what dick Kenya sucking. You worried about Brit's mouth. Who wants to put their penis in yours? Until you can answer that, keep your mouth off other women's sex lives. See, if you have to say they're not considered and I had to get a lawyer, girl, you skating too close to the edge. They're going to make a new law called the Kenya Moore Law. So that way, when this happens again, we'll have something named after you. You want that? You committed revenge porn, Kenya. Just because there's a legal loophole that we haven't ironed out yet doesn't mean it's not revenge porn. You're a disgusting individual. And this attitude, I didn't do this because that attitude, that's why Bravo ain't gonna have you back. Now she says she's very sorry. No, you're not. No, you are not. You wouldn't be trying to skirt around it if you did. So then she goes into, yes, I did say something in my home about Phaedra, but I didn't make it a threat to her. Girl, if you want to play semantic gymnastics, feel free. So then we have her versus Brit. It was shady from the start. She had weird energy from the start. Kenya, you're evil, so I'm not surprised there was weird energy. It was probably coming from you. You were smelling your upper lip. That's what you were smelling. Now, Brit also ain't shit. So really, it was two foul beings meeting. It's when constipation comes up against diarrhea. They're both still shit. Okay, Kenya, because you want to say it was a made-up issue. You are on a reality show where 90% of the issues are made up. So that moot point, moving on. A made-up issue on a damn reality show. That's what you're supposed to do. Oh, God. Now, Kenya's like, I'm not a hugger because people transfer. And if you don't want to hug people, don't hug people. If you don't want to hug people, don't hug people. We don't need an explanation. Transfer energy. Nobody wants to hear about you talking about a transfer of energy when you're evil as the day is long. Don't nobody want your I'm not going to order a crab cake for you energy on their body. How about that? How about we don't want to hug you and catch the spirit of a spinster? So you right. You don't need to be hugging nobody. Keep that single to yourself. I don't need you rubbing your mommy wounds on my back. So you got a point. Don't hug nobody, Kenya. Don't hug nobody. You need to an energy transfer. You need to get all the love from other people you can because you ain't got none in yourself. Transfer energy. Kenya said Brit has bad energy, and so do you. And that's why we've had this supernova explosion of shit energy. She says Brit wanted the villain role and to come after you. No, I think that they are preparing her to be the new you as they phase you out. That's what you're missing here, Kenya. They're phasing you out. That's her job. She's supposed to be the new villain, replacing the old. Because we don't want to see a 54-year-old unhealed woman be cruel to other women. We want to watch a 30-something-year-old woman recognize her own issues, heal herself, and be friends with other women. You were never going to heal yourself. You were never going to move forward. So that's why the network decided to move on. The first 3 weeks of filming, she was boring. So why did you decide to make her the star of this season? Then she says, why are you coming on reality TV if you have a past? Because Kenya, most people have sexual pasts unlike you. I don't know what it is about you, but men don't want you. But most of us, we have sex, so we have a sexual past. But since you don't have sex and men don't want you, that's why you wouldn't understand. We live in two different worlds. I live in a world of male affection, and you don't. I live in a world where I have a mother that loves me, and you don't. So we would never understand what that is. Good luck. Then she gonna say, am I the only sane person in the room? Why would you come on a show if you had something to be exposed? Because this isn't something to expose. It's like if someone was a victim of a crime, you wouldn't use that as a storyline. That's something sad that happened to them that may not be brought on the show. This just shows what a callous and ignorant being you are. Thinking that this is something to expose, to shame someone that would be used for reality show fodder. And the network has shown you they're not on that kind of time. Also, the woman did sex work. What's the big deal? Like, it's not the Reed you think it is. It's not the hidden life you think it is. It was a situation, she moved on. This shows your lack of empathy for women. Lord, so now Kenya says, I've taken accountability. But you've spent the past 12 minutes justifying these actions and poo-pooing them, downplaying them, and making sure that everyone knows it's legal. That's the thing you don't get. Even if it is technically legal, it is morally wrong. You are the morally bankrupt Kenya Moore. You really are. After this, you are the morally bankrupt Kenya Moore. Sit right on next to Faye. Because Faye really ain't shit. You went on Tamron Hall because Bravo said, if you want to think about working with us again, you get out there and apologize. You didn't do it because it was the right thing. That's why you're here. Still bumping your gums rather than taking your punishment. Now she's bringing up, I issued a public apology to Kim Fields. Yeah, but you see, you were 48 when you were doing that. You were too old. You were too old to be an asshole. Kim even invited her on the Upshaws to film. Now, Kim is a class act. Kenya, you could learn from her. She said, I took accountability with Phaedra. No, you took accountability with Apollo. And I still think you got that dick. Yeah, you want to talk about, I'm not going to watch porn, but you sure will feel up somebody else's husband in front of them. She'll go after a married man like a hoe and a hussy. But oh no, porn, we got to look down on that. But breaking up marriages is fine. Morally bankrupt. Okay, Kenya, I am sorry you got threatened. I am sorry. But this reaction isn't helpful. But if you were so frightened, so shaken, so scared, then why did you decide, okay, I'm going to antagonize this woman so she really might want to put a bullet in me? That doesn't make sense. So it's hard for me to believe that you were afraid when you decide, what can I do to embarrass this woman where I could really take her out of herself and she might drag me across the stage? You really thought, let me get out here and provoke this girl so she'll actually bring a gun to set? What were you thinking, Kenya? How is going to Kinko's and sex shaming her going to make production take that threat seriously? How? How do those two things connect? Now you're going to say I'm the only cast member that's ever been physically attacked. You clearly didn't learn from the first time. You clearly didn't learn. Talk shit, get hit. Oh God. So she found an interview where Britt said, yes, I keep a pistol on me, because I guess they was talking about safety in Atlanta, because she said she only goes to gas stations with security. So I'm sure there's a context level there. But that still doesn't make me say, oh, you were so frightened. I know why you went to Kinko's to sex shame that woman. That's the only way to keep her from shooting you. That's going to jam the bullets in the chamber. Girl, boom. Kenya, I can understand how you feel, but you're not invited to the party anymore. They were not jumping through hoops because they didn't care about you anymore. Now she's like, well, if Britt had said it to any other housewife, would this have happened? No. And you know what, Kenya? That's not fair. But what you did to Britt allowed them to get rid of you. You see, you're not seeing what's going on. The network didn't want you there. They were only dealing with you because they had to. They were letting you fire yourself. This is when the reality show machine chews you up and spits you out. And you don't realize, oh, I'm getting spit out right now. I'm getting used and abused. A fool. Your sunshine ain't come. How, you see, Kenya, this is when I need you to shut up. This is when I need you to shut up, because this ignorance is angering me. You can't say I never would have felt the need to protect myself. Looking up that woman's sexual history online does not in any shape, form, or fashion protect you. It doesn't. Your mother, you see, this is why you needed your mother, because you needed somebody to slap that mouth. Those lies, for that ignorance. You needed your mother to slap that out your mouth at 5 years old, but it's still in there at 54. Please stop. The where I'm from, it's not protecting yourself in Detroit. All that's doing is escalating the situation and putting you and Brooklyn in danger. You did not act like a mother. Stop it. Do you think the new girl tricked you out of your spot? No, because really what it is there is no more room on a show like this for a Kenya Moore. We don't have room for the mommy wounds. We have moved past as a society where we now see and recognize mean girl behavior, and we're like, we don't want that. There aren't going to be any more villains like this going forward. So Kenya Moore is a dinosaur. Britt Eady couldn't replace it because we don't need that. We don't know what Britt Eady would be. I think this is going to be a one-season wonder for her because don't nobody like her. But the truth is, Kenya's not likable either. So I don't think that she tricked her out of her spot. I think Kenya tricked herself out of her spot. Britt didn't do shit. This was all Kenya. She's been disinvited from the reunion, and I think that says it all. I think the network is like, we're tired of you. We're going in a different direction. I don't think they're going to offer you a peach next season. And I think it may be time for Kenya to find something else to do, because I just don't want to see you be cruel to women anymore. It's not interesting. I'm not caping for Britt, but what you did was beyond disgusting and beyond foolish. Should you have to tolerate Britt threatening you? No, you shouldn't. But the fact that nobody gave a shit, that should have let you know you're not welcome here and you need to leave. You should, but the truth is you should have been known Bravo wasn't fucking with you when you decided to get married off camera. And you thought it was cute. And Bravo said, okay, we gonna get cuter. They're not interested in your disobedience or your disrespect. When you sign that contract, they're not joking with you. When you say, I'm going to show my cervix for a quarter, they paid their 25 cents and they want to see blood vessels and tissue. If you're not comfortable with it, leave. But this is what happens when you stay too long at the party. Don't nobody want you there, and you said that don't nobody care. Girl, that was over you. They have been over you. And they said, we're going to let the trash take itself out so we ain't got to pay her. And you did. And you did. They said, I bet we can scam her out of her money, and they did. While you were so worried about who she was Snapchatting her pussy to, you should have been worried about how Bravo was going to bamboozle you out of your bucks, because they caused you to self-destruct. They said, okay, we're not going to pay any attention to that, and the truth is it was probably just talk, because if that heifer was going to shoot people, pretty sure she'd have some charges already. You want to say, oh, I don't know her. Then maybe you shouldn't be disrespectful to people you don't know. That mouth that your mother needed to slap you in has gotten you into trouble. You think you can just keep provoking people. You need your ass beat a second time, clearly. But I guess Bravo's doing that now. I guess Life about to beat that ass now when you close that salon and wasted $400,000. I've been shut out. I wasn't given an opportunity to apologize. You haven't really apologized this entire time. It took you 7 months to get on Tamron Hall and kind of own it. But we could tell Bravo forced you to do that. You've tried to die on this hill for too long. Your apology, too insincere for camera. They give grace to other people that have more of a chance. You don't realize you've been on for 12 seasons. You were at the end of the line. The old gray mare, she ain't what she used to be. Ain't what she used to be. They're putting you out to pasture. You're the idiot for not having any other plans and clinging to this show so desperately, when the truth is, after 12 years, your ass should have been flying like an eagle somewhere the hell else. I mean, you saw what happened to Nene and still just decided to put all your eggs in the same basket. You're a fool. And I have no sympathy for you. Okay, but then you're going to bring up the white people. You ain't going to bring up Kim Zolciak, because Kim Zolciak had a fan base. You haven't. You've never been the spinoff girl. You've never been that popular. And that's the thing, like, you're not an interesting enough villain. You're a C plus B minus villain. You're not enough for your own spinoff. You're too unlikable. Then she gonna say they had some actual revenge porn. What happened with white people 10 years ago has nothing to do with black women today. That's a whole different set of rules and standards. We don't need to worry about they shit. We worrying about the stunt you pulled against a black woman. White people play by a whole different set of rules. Don't bring them in this. We talking about your behavior. Kenya said, I've struggled to build a team. You really have. And why is that? Why can't a team work with Kenya? Why can't you work with anybody? Because you're an awful human being. I'm sorry. I really do believe that this is who you are, that moment is the root of Kenya. And that's why you don't have a team. And that's why nobody messes with you, but that's sorry, sissy. That's why opportunity gets up when it sees you come in the room. Because you're awful, you're mean. And no one has time for mean. Okay, now she whining that people are leaving bad reviews. You're just stupid. You're just stupid if you didn't think that was going to happen. You are more ignorant, more hopeless than I thought. You are truly hopeless at 54. At 54. Because I could see 30-something where you're still young and stupid, but you have more life experience. That's why this is such a disappointment. And the fact that you can't see how fucked up you are, baby, that's sad. And that's why Bravo don't need to have you back. You don't need to be on the reunion. This type of behavior needs to be cut out like a cancer. You're a tumor on the show. A tumor, a teratoma. Girl, why are you trying to ruin people coming here and having great experiences? Because we don't know if you don't like us, if you're going to try to look up a pornographic past. I'd say that's a good reason. I want to let people know, hey, she don't like women. She got a salon, but she don't like women. You never know with her. And then if you don't like women, God knows the women you work with might not like women either. It might be mommy wound central. I don't want to deal with it. You could mess up my scalp and snatch me bald because you're jealous and hateful. Girl, she's showing herself washing heads. You should have been doing this years ago. I don't want your evil ass touching my head. Now, you won't hug nobody. Hold the fuck on. You just said, I ain't hugging you because of transfer of energy, but you gonna get all up in the scalp. A lie don't care who tell it. It really don't. It really don't. A lie just like, look, I just want to get out in the world. My mouth or Kenya's mouth, it's gonna pop out. It's gonna pop out. But you don't want to hug nobody, but you're going to get deep in that scalp. Okay. But you're energy sensitive. You're energy sensitive. So ain't no chakras or nothing up here. But okay. Okay. She said she has some more projects coming up, but I'm sure this has overshadowed and tainted them. All right. Well, that was the shit. So I'm going to see you soon for something. Ain't no fool like an old fool.